Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. So here I am again, live from the balcony in Praia. I just wanted to give you an update again on what's been going on. Apart from the fact I'm very, very burnt because I've spent all day in the sun, which I know I live in Spain, and you probably think, oh, well, you live in Spain, aren't you always in the sun? But do you know what, when you're working and I've actually been on sunbeds since I've lived in Spain, because sometimes you just don't have the time to go and sit in the sun. It's not the same as being on holiday. The sun's there and it's lovely and it's nice and warm, but you rarely go in it, to be honest, because you've just not got time. Or I'll tell you something, whatever country you live in, when it comes to Friday, all the clouds come over. So you're looking forward to your weekend and you think, oh, I'll be able to get some sun. And it starts raining. It always starts raining on a Friday. But today I've been on the beach this morning. I've done the video walking the steps from the tapas bar round to the apartment, which I can't show at the moment. I've got to wait till I get back and I can put it through my computer. But it was interesting to do that, because it's not really that far distance-wise. It's maybe not so much distance-wise, but it's hard to explain. You cannot just go straight to it. You have to go out and go onto the street, up the road, round the corner, and then it's a block of flats, and they've put a sign up there now saying only residents can enter. So I didn't want to sort of piss anybody off, so I didn't go in. I wasn't going to go in and up the steps to the actual apartment, because somebody's actually in there at the moment. Somebody's actually either living there or renting it for a holiday. So obviously I didn't want to. Hi, Maltese Cross. Yes, do you know, oh look, I can actually see the chat tonight, which is good. Don't forget to give me a like if you're coming in. Please just give me the thumbs up on the video. That really helps me out. So yeah, didn't go up the stairs or anything like that. I don't want to wind anyone up. I can see, since I've been here, we can see that it's a very sensitive sort of subject. It's like, from what I've been told, there's a mixed feeling. There's a division. Some people are divided. Some people feel like the McCanns had something to do with it, and other people are either on the fence or not sure. But nobody seems to feel. When I've mentioned Christian B, a lot of people that I've spoken to, they remember him. They said that he was known in the area and that, but they don't think that, nobody said that they thought he had anything to do with it. Now, the other thing that I've realised while I've been here is how useful, I may have mentioned this on a video before, Spanish has been very useful. The fact that I speak Spanish, because Spanish and Portuguese is so similar. So I think that has helped sort of people relax a bit, being able to speak to them, well, not in their own language, but be able to speak to them in Spanish, because they understand Spanish, and I understand when they're speaking to me even in Portuguese, because they're very similar. So when you will see the video, I've taken the video, but I just can't load it up until I get back home and get my camera, get my computer. It's just quite interesting. So you go into this other complex, apartment complex, which is around the corner, and there's the stairs up to that particular apartment. But you do have to come out onto the road and go round, So there is always that chance that what might have happened is that, Madeleine left the apartment. Madeleine may have left the apartment and been taken off the road. It's just not, at the end of the day, it's not a safe place to leave a child while you're out having a drink, and with the best will in the world, you can't see that apartment, so you can't see what's going on. I just wouldn't have been able to rest. Now, last night we walked down to the beach. You walk down to the beach area. It's about 10 minutes downhill, and there's a lot of bars and restaurants, and the beach is beautiful. We've been on the beach this morning. I'm like, you know, I have burnt probably. Um, but all the people are all out with their families. That's what I've said from the beginning. I know what the culture is here from living in Spain for so long. People go take their families out. You don't leave your children in an apartment on their own, especially not three children so young as that. Maybe if they were 10, you might think that you could do that. I mean, obviously these days they'd probably have a smartphone and they could contact you anyway, but they didn't then. So there was anything can happen in half an hour, even if they were going every 30 minutes, which they obviously weren't. 30 minutes is a long time that something can go wrong, isn't it? So, yeah, to me, the thing that I've learnt the most from coming here and getting a feel of the place, I think it's a beautiful place. I think it is quite a safe place, probably, from what people have said. I think that's the only thing that's ever happened here. So I think that's what caught the police off guard in the beginning when the police got called. It's not a place where there's always problems. It's not like even a holiday resort like Benidorm, or where there's problems with. It's a very quiet place, so that's how I found it so far. Maybe in July and August it's busier, but this was May that they came out. I just can't. I know we've got to look back how it was then, and it might be different from how it is now, but I don't know. I understand why the police probably initially were thinking, oh, well, probably there's nothing untoward that's happened. They've probably they've never had a case like that, and they'll probably never have a case like that again, I would imagine, in this actual resort. I just want to say cheers. Some of you have wished me well and said, oh, try some Portuguese wine. The Portuguese wine is very nice, so I definitely recommend that if you get a chance to try some Portuguese wine wherever you are. Very nice, especially the rosé, which is my favourite. The sea is very cold because it's the Atlantic. So it's very cold, and it looks quite tranquil at the moment, but it actually isn't tranquil. When you go in it, you can feel the currents, on your legs. I mean, I didn't go in and swim. I don't like swimming in the sea, but I did have a paddle in it. And you can feel the draw of the currents on your legs, so it doesn't seem to me very safe. There's a lifeguard there always, but it's not. Whereas the Mediterranean, of course, where I live, that's a nice tranquil sea. But depending on which beach you go to, you've always got to be careful because they were. Sorry, I'm missing the live chat. Sorry, hang on. Hi, Chumba. The M said they sat where they did at the restaurant because they could see the apartment. You can't see the apartment. Well, you can see the corner, like where the apartment is, but you'll see anyway. When you see the videos, when I get a chance to upload the videos, when I get home and put that I've taken on the GoPro, you'll see them. You can't see the apartment. Well, you can see the edge of it. But anyway, you'll see. Right. Hi, Jackie. How's the weather? 82. What, in London, Terry? It's 82 degrees. I think it here, I don't know what the temperature is. It has been hot today. This has been the hottest day since I've got here, but there's always a lovely breeze. It is a lovely climate. I think it is a lovely climate. It's hot, but because of the breeze and everything, it feels comfortable. Sheila, no, that search is finished, and that's very mysterious because they finished the search and they said they took away significant things, but then that was it. Now we've not heard anything since then. So why are we not hearing about these significant things? So the general opinion seems to be here from people I've spoken to just as we think in a way, those things come up, get talked about for a while, and then you don't hear anything about it again. And we know that Christian B hasn't been charged with anything. The German police seem satisfied that it is, he's had something to do with it, but we have no proof. They've been and done that search. It's probably been 4 weeks now, is it, since they did that search, and nothing has been reported back. So I don't know. But I did read that there was a suspect. Even the Portuguese police now have declared a suspect. They haven't said who it is. Maybe it's Christian B. Or maybe it's a different person. Why do they release these little bits of information and not actually tell you? No. Anyway, at least they're not telling us no speculation. So no, it is a beautiful place. I don't think I would come back here like as a choice. It's very hilly. Which it sort of puts you off sometimes. I mean, it's all right now. The evenings is okay. You go down quite a steep hill to the beach. You have to come back up it. That's the problem. Which was fine last night when it was cooler. But what we found today when we were coming up from the beach at sort of about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it was so hot. That was murder coming back up. It really is walking in any way is nice as long as it's not too hot. But it was hot today. It was hot, but it was lovely. And as I say, I'm going to come back with a tan, that's for sure. Which is something that I rarely have, not a proper tan. Right, now let me think, because there was a couple of things now I just wanted to mention something that one of my subscribers, Rustic Rach, she has a YouTube channel. It's very entertaining. You should go over there and subscribe if you get a chance. She made a comment which I thought was very interesting, because do you remember when Madeleine first went missing? There was all that big store made on her eye, because she's got that strange eye with the I don't even know what you call it, but like in her pupil, or leading from her pupil, she has. And there was a big store made of that in the first few days, that Madeleine, you would recognise her because she had this distinctive eye. Now, recently, when people have been claiming to be, hi Hannah, people have been claiming to be Madeleine, nobody's even mentioned the eye. Wouldn't that be the very first way that you could, even before you had the DNA test, the recent case of the Eastern European girl who claimed she was Madeleine, and she thought she might be Madeleine, and they did a DNA test, but wouldn't it was never mentioned about the eye. Did she have that strange eye? If somebody might be able to tell me what that is, because I can't remember what it's called. But did she? And why was that not the first? It was surely the first thing that would be checked when someone's claiming to be Madeleine was, has she got this sort of distinctive eye? Because if she hasn't got that, she's not Madeleine. She can't be Madeleine, because you can't get rid of that. That's something that she was born with and she would have now. So you're right, Rachel. If you, I don't know if you're watching now, but you'll probably be watching at some point. You're right. Why is that never even mentioned now? The distinctive eye she had. Oh, gosh, it is a very strange case, isn't it? And will we ever know the answer? Hi, Nicola. Yeah, do you remember she had this? But did the girl that claimed recently, very recently, within a month, wasn't it? About a month ago, 6 weeks ago, there was a girl claiming she was Madeleine. Did she have that eye thing? Jumba, you don't believe Madeleine had Columbia in her eye? Columba, right, Sheila. So, do you see what I'm saying though? And it's never mentioned now but that would be quite a distinctive thing when, sometimes people come forward and say they are Madeleine, like happened recently. Wouldn't that be the first thing that they would check if she had that? Because there was lots of photos at the time. It's like a brown mark on the iris. So did that girl have that then? Maltese cross. Anyway, just something, but I don't remember seeing anything mentioned about it. But I've got to be honest, when that happened, when that girl came out saying she might be Madeleine, I didn't take much notice of it because I knew it would come to nothing. I knew that would just be a load of rubbish. Because unfortunately, and it's very sad, but whatever happened to Madeleine, I don't believe she's still on this earth. So I didn't think for a minute that that girl would be Madeleine. So maybe I didn't look into it enough. She had one, Jackie, but Jackie's saying that she had one, but it wasn't as pronounced as Maddie's. Right, okay. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? But they do rarely talk about. Well, I've not. Maybe they've just stopped talking about it. Full stop. And somebody else asked, "Are there still any missing?" There is nothing. No posters. No, nothing to mention anything about Maddie now in this whole area that I haven't seen it. You know, we've been around the whole area. We haven't seen any posters, any mention of Maddie, and I have managed to speak to a few people about her. But you can see that people don't really want to talk about it. They want to move on. I think they're a bit sick of it. They don't like the thought that people think that their police are rubbish. They don't like the thought that people think the British police would have done a better job. You know, there's a lot of resentment in that sense, and they're just thinking like, well, it was a long time ago now. They sort of have their own ideas what happened to her, and is not about Christian B. And so I think, yeah, it's almost this sense of, I'm trying to think what it would be like. You know, I suppose if you went to, what would it be like? What's a situation that it might be in the UK if you lived in a place and something had happened there, and then people were because people turn up all the time to take photos. You know, not people that are actually staying at the resort. You know, the guy at the bar who works in the bar now at the Tappers Club. He's British, but he's lived here ever since he was a child, so it's more Portuguese than British. But he said, you know, people just come and do it because they're not supposed to come actually into the club. Well, they can come in for a coffee or to play tennis or whatever, but they're not supposed to be able to use the pool. And they don't want to come into the club, they just go and take a picture of the apartment. So, because he said, like, every time it sort of dies down, something occurs to bring it back up, like the Netflix documentary or the search of the dam or whatever. And it's not just British people who come to take photos and YouTube video, because I felt a bit guilty. I did tell him what I was doing, but I thought, you know, I was sort of like, oh gosh, I'm one of those people, I suppose. But they don't come to, you know, it's all different nationalities, because Madeleine's case was received worldwide attention. Can you imagine? It's quite a lot. And he even told me that from some of the neighbouring areas, like Lagos and that are bigger, because this is a very tiny village, very tiny community. And he was telling me that they actually have coach trips from the hotels and things coming out to view where this happened. You know, you can book at your hotel or whatever, you can book a coach trip. And, you know, which it's not very nice, is it, that? Hello, Vicky. Yes, I'm having a lovely holiday. Hannah Hughes, the apartment is, hi, Charlie. The apartment is, I'd say it's a 10-minute walk to the beach, but it's very steep downhill. And these very strange roads are like cobbled, and you can't tell hi, Silver Moon Warrior. You can't tell the difference between the road and the pavement. I've taken some video footage of it on my GoPro, and as I say, when I get back and I can actually upload it, or it'll give you a better idea of it's not a place to come to if you've got mobility problems. It's not a place to come to if you like wearing high heels. Like, you couldn't. The roads are really uneven, and you know, it's just like, well, I would go flying. Like, some people are better at wearing heels than others. I'm useless. I can't wear heels the best of times. But if I've got a nice flat pavement I can, but they're not. It's all hills and it's all cobbles, and it's a funny place. So, they said they saw a man walking towards the beach, wasn't it? That's, something that once I've got the footage and I can compare my actual footage and compare it with the things that have been sent, I can sort of put it together better. But I cannot imagine how anyone could walk down to the sea and not be noticed. I mean, it's a quiet place, but oh gosh, well, you'll see it when you see the video footage, and you can tell me what you think. It's sort of odd, and there's no lighting. So we last night when we came back, there are no lights. We had to put our phone torches on to be able to see where we were going. There is no lighting. It only actually on the beach, where the bars and restaurants are. But as you're walking back up through all the little shady sort of culverts, lanes or whatever. Lots of trees. Somebody mentioned that maybe it wasn't as overgrown. The trees weren't as overgrown as they are now. All those years ago, maybe that's possible. But now, I mean, you can't see a thing. I wouldn't want to walk around there on my own at all. But everyone seems to be saying, oh, it's really safe and that. But it's not. That would be what would worry me about leaving the children as well. So, how far to the tapas bar from where, Jackie? You mean from the beach? You're saying how far to the tapas bar as was? Do you mean from where I am now, or do you mean from the beach, or do you mean from the apartment? Charlie, oh, please be careful. Yes, Sheila, you're right. It will be the same inside well, it's already been people videoing Nicola's grave and that. I don't think that's it's too early. And bearing in mind with Nicola, it's very recent. I mean, this was years ago. I suppose you're going to get this. It's something that's unresolved, so people are always going to, we're interested in it. At the end of the day, we're just same as everybody else. I'm interested in it, but I don't think I would come on a coach tour to come and, especially to come. I don't know. So, Ali Harris, hi. It's not. I'm still calling you Ali. From the apartments, right? It's not that far distance. Let me think how I'd explain it. Well, you'll see it when you see the videos, and I'll walk it. It's not a massive distance away, but it's not. You can't just go to it straight away. So if you were saying as the crow flies. If you're saying as the crow flies, it's not that far. But if you actually have to walk it, because there's a wall, it is not. The apartments are not part of the complex. The complex is the actual pool and the tapas bar and everything is completely separate. You can't just, go up to the apartment. You have to go out, go onto the road, walk around the corner, and round to the apartment. So it's maybe probably for them, as if they were fitter than me, but it's between a 5 and 10 minute walk. But for me, the significant thing is that it's not just right there, and it was the same then. It's never been. I think it's represented sometimes when you see the pictures, and I thought that when I booked it, or when my friend booked this, and I said to her to book it, we just thought it was apartments round a pool. It's not. The apartments are separate. But anyway, well, we thought about that, Vicky, about going to the reservoir. We'd have to rent a car to do that. I don't think we'll be doing that now. But tomorrow I am going to the church service at 10:30 at the church, so I can look inside the church. I've taken a photo of the church. The church is being painted at the moment, so it's got all scaffolding around it. But I am going to go in and have a look at it tomorrow. But yeah, the more I see, if you think, where would you leave 3 toddlers? You might leave them like where I am now. I'm on the patio in our apartment. If you look round there, and you've got like the apartment, the living room and the bedroom, yeah, you might leave them there while you're out on the patio having a meal or whatever, but only because you can see right into where they would be. This isn't like that. It isn't like that. So if nothing else, um, I think we were given I think even now when you look at the photo, you feel like it's probably a lot of us have stayed in similar places. It's a pool, centre of an apartment complex, all the apartments around the pool, and it's like private, if you like, because that particular complex where you're staying. But it's not, and anyone can go in there. Yeah, it is peace. It's quite. It's not. It's not like. It's not a Benidorm type place. You know, it's the total opposite. It's like it's quiet. There are people here with children. I've seen them out last night with in the restaurants and that, but and at lunchtime. But they've got the children with them. I don't think. You know, it's not the sort of culture where you need to leave your children either. But so if nothing else, I think they are guilty of negligence. You know, maybe. I'm sure if they are, and I'm sure if it's true what happened that Madeleine was snatched, I'm sure they feel terrible about it. But at the end of the day, I know if that would have been me or anyone like single parent from her counsellor said, they probably would have been charged. But anyway, so don't forget to like the video. Um, yeah, you wouldn't leave your babies unless you were directly in the garden within earshot. Silver Moon Warrior. Well, of course, this is what they're saying is that there's a British lady, because some people live here, they're not all holiday apartments. Some people actually live in these apartments. And there was a British lady who could hear Madeleine crying, apparently, crying for her dad. I'm sure, you know, I think it might be haunting Jerry now. I wonder. I wonder if now it's haunting them. Now they're, um, Sheila, it's not 50 yards away. No. Well, I'll measure it tomorrow. Maybe I can try and do that. What's 50 yards? 50 yards. 50 yards. That's nothing, is it? No. It's definitely further than that. I think it's about, somebody said it was like from, like the length of a football field. That's more than 50 yards, isn't it? But it's not only the fact of that's if a bird flew straight from the tapper's bar to the apartment. You know, it's like you might say there's places that are 50 yards from my house, but if you can't go directly to them, you've got to go round the corner and round the back thing. That's not 50 yards. It's not, it might be 50 yards if you're a bird and you just flew there. But I don't even think it would be them. But you can't do that. You have to go outside onto the street, round the corner. Well, you'll see when you see the video. So it's not. I'm home. Jackie's asking me how long I'm here for. We come back on Friday, so by Friday evening I'll be back at home, and then I'll be able to load up the videos that I've done. I've got some. Yes, exactly. Why didn't one of them stay with this? I mean, we're talking about like if I was a single parent and I left my son, that's because there's only me. If there's like what? How many? There was 9 of them, wasn't there altogether? 9 adults. Why can't you take it in turns? There's a choice of more than one person to look after them. You could do an hour each. You know, I don't understand how all those adults, none of them could look after the children. You take it in turns. That I've done that with my friends. It's your turn. It's like designated driver as well, isn't it? Things like that. When you go out, one drinks one night. You take things in turn when there's more than one of you. I think it's completely selfish, to be honest, but never mind. Yeah, why didn't one of them stay with the children one night, then next swap over so they never left her on their own? Because, yeah, there's so many other things that could happen, apart from being abducted, fall out of bed, choke, suffocate, etc. Oh. Yes, I'm taking lots of pictures and lots of videos, and a minute's walk. I wouldn't say it's a minute. It's not miles. Don't get me wrong. It's not miles away. I think it's 5 minutes from the Tappers Bar, because Tappers Bar is right inside the beach club. So you've got to go from the tapas bar, come up through the reception, onto the road, up the road, round the corner. I mean, don't get it's not like it wouldn't take you 20 minutes to do it, but even me, and I'm not a very quick walker, but yeah, but it's still, it's not only that, it's that it's out of the sight. It's not like you can just see it. Yeah. Oh. Jumbo, can he wait, Vicky? Can he wait? There's your Scottish thing. Can he wait? Yeah, you take turns. Take turns. We all do it. You know, we've all done it anyway. I mean, my son's 26 now, but I've done it. We've taken them with. This is what we do in Spain. We take them with, and when they get tired and grouchy, so I mean, those children were young enough to still be in pushchairs. My son, I just used to push him up and down. He'd fall asleep. He'd be right next to me, and we'd just carry on. He'd be quite happy because you know they like the sound, they can hear your voice, and they could just go off asleep, and you can still, you know, chat with your friends and stuff like that. I just don't understand why they didn't take them there in the pushchairs and get them off to sleep, or we used to do that thing of putting two chairs together, and they were with the cushions on and that, and they would fall asleep on there. So, and they were right there, and you could see them. So that is, to me, that is the main thing. So whatever happened after that, you know, I don't know if we'll ever know, but the main thing is it should never have been in that position in the first place. It must have had a big effect on this area because it is only a small village. You know what I was thinking? It's something. What happened to the people that were coming out on holiday, like maybe the next day or the next week or whatever? I mean, and it became like a crime scene and all that going on. It must have been, I don't know, must have been awful. But you know, I don't like saying things like this because it's just how I feel. But I feel Madeleine is around here somewhere. I don't know. There's like this. If if you believe in things like that, that's the feeling that she's not too far away. But anyway, maybe one day we'll find out. So thank you so much for Hi Finola. Thank you so much. So you've done that Silver Moon Warrior on holiday. Yeah, you take them where, you know, when you're ready to go back in, you either carry them in, or I've taken my son like this, and he's like half asleep, and just get him in. When we're ready to go home, we go back to wherever we are. It would be home in Spain because, you know, you just got used to it. You know, they had a great time with their friends because, first of all, there would have been because a lot of them had children, didn't they? So they would have had a great time running around, enjoying themselves, and they would have get tired. Then you put them off to sleep, and they're quite happy to go sleep in their pushchairs or whatever. And you'll see when you see the videos, they can run around. You know, you have to keep an eye on them because there are exits that they could get out of. It's not completely closed off, but there's places where they could run around. You know, like little patches. There's a little park from the holiday club and that. You know, so they could have the time. They get tired, they have something to eat, they fall asleep. That's what my son used to do. Have a run around with his friends, eat something. Next minute, he was asleep in his pushchair. So what you're saying? The McCanns didn't take a pushchair. Oh, they didn't take a pushchair. Yeah, they were just more interested in enjoying themselves, which is fine. We're on holiday, and you think, though somebody was saying they weren't on holiday. Does anyone know about that? Were they on holiday? Yeah. Yeah, they went in, and this is another reason why I feel like nothing really happened to Madeleine, is because even if after one of your children's been snatched, you're not going to put your children in the holiday club again, are you? Just wouldn't do it, but. Okay, well, cheers, thanks for watching, and yeah, I don't know what this Vicente is that you took. I don't know what that is. Links to there, that K&G, where is Vicente? Right, I need to sort of look into that. I don't know where Vicente is. Okay, so thank you all. I've got to go. We're going to go off and have something to eat, and thank you for watching as always. Thank you for all your support, all your thumbs up, your likes, your subscribes. Appreciate all of it, and I hope you found these updates interesting. And then I've got lots more to bring when I can get on my computer and make it put it all together in a proper video. So thank you. Remember to always live and love very carefully and wisely. So also, of course, at the weekend, I'll be able to look at some of the cases I've not been able to catch up with while I've been here, and just until I see you again, may your God go with you. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I don't know where to press the thing. Hang on. There you go.